السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. وقال تعالى: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال تعالى: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. صدق الله العظيم. فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار أما بعد. I began by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and seeking the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we began by sending our salams upon Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us steadfast upon the deen of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. May Allah keep our upcoming generations steadfast upon the deen of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that in the akhirah, may Allah make us the beneficiaries of the shafa'ah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And may Allah grant us and our families the companionship of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in Jannah. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. Brothers and sisters, for today's khutbah, I was thinking for a very long time what exactly to talk about. And it came to my attention as I conducted last week's khutbah, the second khutbah, that there was another khutbah that was conducted by Ustad Bajur about the importance for parents not becoming obstacles and difficulties for our children to get married. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward him that he explained that what are the consequences of stopping and becoming obstacles for our kids in getting married. And we are aware of that. But at the same time, we need to understand the entire picture. And what Ustad has given us is half the picture, because there's not, frankly speaking, he only has half an hour. And so today I want to cover the second half of this topic, and to help us realize that while, yes, there are situations in this community, while there are people who come to me and they come to the Ustad and they tell us about the difficulties of getting married. In fact, there is an Imam who once said that today getting married is even difficult than getting and paying off your mortgage in some cases. This is how difficult it has become in our society. But at the same time, we have to understand that the parents are not the only problem in this situation. We find that our youth are also a problem in this situation. But at the same time, the parents need to reach out and they need to teach our children that what is the right way of approaching this entire subject. So imagine if there is a youngster who's ready to get married. And keep this word ready in mind, because I'm going to come back to this. Once they're ready to get married, and then they find difficulties and obstacles, then you can always resort back to last week's khutbah. But the question is, are they ready? Yes or no? That's the question. And this process of getting ready is a long process. And that's what I want to talk about first. That we need to get our youth ready first before they can embark on this journey. So what is the meaning of getting them ready? And how do we actually get our children ready for embarking on this journey of a lifetime? Number one is, as parents, we need to realize that the children will always mirror the parents. Whatever the parents are, that's exactly what our children are going to become. Unfortunately, we have seen that while we are so much focused on the academic success of our children and the financial success of our children, many times we neglect fixing and correcting their akhlaq. We forget teaching them the other important aspects of life. Yes, making them financially sound, helping them becoming academically successful is our responsibility. But you will notice that as parents, we always focus only on that. We always give them lectures. We always try to advise them. We always try to teach them. But how many times have we actually sat down with our children because we have seen something in their akhlaq, or we've seen something regarding their akhirah where they're lacking in, and we have sat down and we have focused and honed in only on that? Very rarely do we do that. Imam Ghazali rahmatullahi alayhi mentions this in his book where he talks about the importance and how to raise children. He mentions that the children, they follow their parents in every single step of the way. And even if you look at the psychological growth of a child, they do things in the very early stages. In fact, it is a sign of a child's mental strength and their mental ability, that if they can imitate, that's a sign that they are healthy. Likewise, Imam Ghazali mentions that when parents, when the children are at a very young age, if the parents are doing the right things inside the family, they are conducting themselves in the right way, then the children will eventually become like that. Now we look at the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because that is the man that we are supposed to follow. لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. The Prophet ﷺ is the best example. We can give many examples, but the example always given by the Prophet ﷺ topples all the other examples. So let's go to the Prophet ﷺ and let's try to see what did he do in his life. We know a story that the Prophet ﷺ once was sitting. And he's there sitting, why? So that he can address the needs of his community, the needs of the Sahaba radiyallahu ta'ala anhum. That's his time, that's his office hours basically. But Fatima radiyallahu ta'ala anha walks in, and the Prophet ﷺ did not say that, you know what, leave right now. Baba is busy, Abu is busy right now, don't you understand? But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not only did he tell Fatima to come close, but out of respect and out of mercy for his own daughter, the Prophet ﷺ got up from his own place. Can you imagine our child walking into our home office and we get up from our seat? Have we ever even done something like that? Get out of our seat and go to our child and put them in the seat? The Prophet ﷺ took Fatima by her hand and brought her all the way to the place where he was sitting. And he made her sit there. When we learn about the story of the man who came and urinated inside the masjid, just like at times, children are running around inside the masjid and adults are pulling their hair out, like as if it's the end of the world. And the Prophet ﷺ sees that there is a man who's urinating inside the masjid. This is probably the most wrongest thing that you can do inside the masjid. And yet the Prophet ﷺ never yelled at that person, never scolded that person. Yet he even told the Sahaba, let the man finish. Let him take care of his business. And when he was done, then he came, and the Prophet ﷺ told him very nicely, very gently, that these are not the adab of the masjid. If you want to do something like this, you go somewhere else. There's a place for that. When we hear the stories about the Prophet ﷺ, how he was so merciful towards the yatim, how he was so merciful towards his own family members, does it ever occur to us that why was he so merciful? Was it just that one day he became a prophet and he became so merciful? No. He was brought up in a family, and he was brought up by people who were merciful towards him. Since he was treated with mercy when he was a child, when he became an adult, he became merciful towards others. And that's what we need to realize. Go back to the story of Abdul Muttalib. When children were coming, and they were sitting on the chair of Abdul Muttalib, and all these children were removed. And Abdul Muttalib came one day and he said, I'm okay with you moving all the children from my chair, but you don't dare ever say anything to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Muhammad is the only child that is allowed to sit in this grand seat. No one else is allowed to sit. When Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was under the merciful care of his grandfather and then his uncle, and he grew up under this atmosphere of mercy, when he grew up, he became merciful. What if we want our children to become a certain way when they become young men? When we want our children to become a certain way when they become young women, then we as parents, we need to create that atmosphere inside our homes first. We cannot expect, please understand this, we cannot expect that they will become exemplary characters and they will become exemplary members of their family if we are not going to prepare them, and if they're not going to see that in our families. If we are living in a family where constantly there is yelling and screaming, and there is abuse taking place, do you really think that our kids, when they grow up to be young men and young women, they're going to be absolutely fine? No. They are going to be affected by their environment. So the very first thing in order to make them ready is that we as parents, we need to set the right example for our children. The next thing is helping our youth and creating the right frame of mind for themselves. When we study Sahih Bukhari, even you open Sahih Bukhari, you open Riyadh al-Salihin, what's the very first hadith that's mentioned in there? إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَّا نَوَىٰ. Is this hadith only about intention? No. If you read the commentary of the ulama, they say that this is much deeper than just intention. This is about creating the right frame of mind. Before I do a certain action, we ask ourselves this question, that why am I doing this? What is the objective of doing something like this? What am I going to get out of this? Why am I motivated to do something like this? Let me give you a very, very easy example. Many of us, we come for salat. Why am I coming for salat? Because I just have to come for salat. Why am I coming for salat? Because my parents are pushing me to come for salat. Why am I going for salat? Because my wife is going to nag at home because I'm not going for salat. So if I'm coming to the masjid just to pray salat, not to fully understand what am I supposed to gain from salat, what are the rewards I'm going to get from salat, how is it going to change my life, then we will come for salat, we will pray, salam, we'll go out, and there's no difference in our life. Because the intention was not there, the right frame of mind was not there before we conducted our salat. And this is why the Prophet ﷺ says, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Before you do anything, create the right frame of mind. Because if you don't have that, you will lose the objective. Now, let's try to bring this in the context of marriage. Many of our youth are told, and I've heard this so many times, that if you want to protect your faith, if you want to protect our youth from committing zina, get them married. That's it. While that is, to some extent, it is correct. But overall, it is a wrong message that we are sending to our youth. Because what we are sending, the message that we are sending to our youth, in essence, is what? That if you want to protect your chastity, then get married. So our children are now thinking to themselves that if I want to protect my iman, if I want to protect my chastity, then I will get married. But then what happens after that? We don't realize that marriage is an agreement. It is a contract. Like a contract between two people, it is a contract. There is an agreement in place. And what we are supposed to do in that marriage has been dictated by Allah and His Prophet ﷺ. So this message that we are sending to our kids is a very wrong message. Because for the adults over here and the parents over here, you know when I say this, that when two people get married, that honeymoon phase that does exist in the beginning of the marriage, that's gone after a certain period of time. That's gone. And then what helps two people to be successful in this journey? It takes commitment, it takes dedication, it takes understanding, and there's a lot more things that come with that. So when we give our children this idea that yes, go ahead and get married. You want to protect yourself? Get married. That's not what the Prophet ﷺ said. He says, يَا مَعْشَرَ الشَّبَابِ مَنْ اسْتَطَاعَ مِنْكُمُ الْبَاءَةَ فَلْيَتَزَوَّجْ. Meaning that if you have these circumstances, if you have the things and the pieces in place, get married. Get married. But then he says, فَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَعَلَيْهِ بِالصَّوْمِ. That if you are not ready, if you are not there where you need to be, then observe fasting. And it does not mean that you have to observe only fasting. It means that use something that can help you stay away from committing wrong. Do something. Fasting is one of them. Fasting is one of them. But the concept, the idea the Prophet was trying to tell us is that it does not mean that every person should have this mindset. It's wrong that we're sending to our children. Are our children ready or not? The Quran says, الرِّجَالُ قَوَّامُونَ عَلَى النِّسَاءِ. Many of us, we translate this as that they are dominant. When you use the word in English, dominant, it means that you are expressing your dominance over someone else. That means that you are exhibiting your power upon someone else. You are dominating someone else. That's not the idea of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When you and I, when we translate الرِّجَالُ قَوَّامُونَ عَلَى النِّسَاءِ, that men are dominant over, then look at the life of the Prophet ﷺ. Once again, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. He is the best example. So look at the life of the Prophet ﷺ. Did he ever go through the entire seerah from cover to cover? Did he ever put himself in a situation? Did he ever say anything from his tongue? Or did he do something physically that sent the message to his wife, the Ummahat Mu'mineen, that I am dominant over you? Never. Never did Rasulullah ever do something like that. So then how can you and I say that we have to be dominant? No, Qawwamun means that we are leaders of the family. And when there is a leader of the family, what does it mean to be a leader? It means that you understand things better. There is hikmah in your approach. Do our kids have that or not? I've had so many sisters who come to my office and they say that our young men are not men anymore. Our young men are not men anymore. And to be honest, when I look at the youth, I do see that there is some truth to that. I see that when our boys, you take a girl of the community, you take a boy of the community, they both are 18 years old, I tell you honestly, you'll find in many cases, not in all cases, so please understand what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that this is at all times, but in majority of the cases, you will find the girls to be more mature than the boys. You'll find the girls to be more mature than the boys. What has happened to our young men? What has happened when they are 18 years old, 20 years old, and they cannot take care of the basic things of life? They are not men. They don't behave like men. They can't communicate like men. And once again, that is a responsibility. And who needs to prepare them for that? That's not the job of the Imam. That's not the job of the organization. That's the job of the parents. We need to create our young men into young men. We have to help them understand what does maturity mean. We have to help them understand that when you get married, then what does it mean to resolve a conflict? What does it mean to be understanding towards the other? What does it mean that to be patient and to be composed when problems occur in the family? Because we see that when there are problems in the family, if the wife, she breaks down, then usually in some cases you'll find the men breaking down too. No, the men need to be strong at that time. If the wife is crying and she has an emotional breakdown, then the man needs to step up. Once again, we need to create our young men into men, but we don't have that anymore. And the last thing I want to cover is responsibility. There was a woman who came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and she says that there are two people who have proposed to me. Two people that have proposed to me. And he asked, who are those two men? And she said that one is a person by the name of Abu Jaham, and the other one, his name is Muawiyah. Not the Muawiyah, the son of Abu Sufyan, another Muawiyah. And the Prophet ﷺ said that, you know what, this man Abu Jaham, he's always traveling. He's always traveling. He's not going to be there for you. I would advise you don't get married to him. Because if he's traveling, he's not going to be there for you. And a husband and wife, they need each other's companionship. You're going to lose the objective. So don't get married to him. As far as Muawiyah is concerned, that don't get married to him because right now he's in the state of poverty. He's in the state of poverty. What is the Prophet ﷺ trying to send here? What message is the Prophet ﷺ trying to send here? That the man has to be responsible for his family. I understand that parents are stepping up nowadays and they're saying that yes, it's fine. My child, in order to protect him and protect his chastity, I will go ahead, let them get married, they can live with me. Once again, it's a wrong message that we're sending to our kids. We need to help our kids understand that they need to become responsible in life. Let me tell you of a youngster who was responsible in his life. Think about if I were to tell you that there is a young man who was a shepherd. Now, you know what it means to be a shepherd? It means you're dealing with animals. Your threshold of patience is not only here, it has to be here. Not only that, you can talk and you can communicate with humans. You can't communicate with animals. So imagine a young man, probably 16, 17 years old. He's a shepherd. That means that he's waking up early in the morning and he's being with the animals. He's taking care of them. And not once there was a complaint that your work ethic is lagging or you're not doing the right job. And then this young man, when he's 23, 24 years old, he begins to travel for business, not locally, internationally. Have you ever heard of a young man nowadays, 23, 24 years old, who's traveling for business internationally? And not only that, but they are successful in their business. They're making a profit. They are trustworthy in their business. You know who this youngster is? It's Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Can you imagine? Today we look at the life of the Prophet, we always say, oh, he was just about religion. He was just about religion. No, the Prophet ﷺ has sent a very strong message that before you get married, you have to be responsible in your life. We need to make our children responsible in their life. Today we are giving and we are handing everything to our kids. And even when I've said on the khutbah or when I've said at other times that give responsibilities to your children, let them earn the money, let them pay for some of their basic bills like their phone bill and so forth, then parents have put upon them some small responsibilities. Take out the garbage, $20. Why would you give $20 in the first place just for taking out the garbage? Make it more difficult for them. Make it more difficult for them. Make our kids into men. Next time they get a flat tire, let them change it for themselves. Show up there. No problem showing up there. You guys show your parenthood. You're going over there. You're supervising. You're looking at them. But let them change that tire. Because that will teach them a lesson for the future. When our kids are 18 years old, 17 years old, and you ask them, what do you want to become down the road? I don't know. This is what some youth said. I don't know. Well, of course, come on. You must have some idea. Nope, I don't have any idea. This is our young men. So before they can even get to the point where they can move forward, we have to make them ready. Once again, make them ready is as parents, we need to set the right examples in our families. Number 2 is we need to help them understand and create the right frame of mind before they get married. Help them understand what exactly marriage is all about. It's not just about fulfilling your human earthly desires. There's a lot more to marriage than just that. To help them become mature and finally help them understand to become responsible. If they are studying, let them finish their studies. In some cases, yes, because there is a fear, if you want to even go and get their nikah done, not when they are living with each other, just the kitaba or the nikah, the marriage ceremony, that's absolutely fine, because that in itself would make it allowed or make it halal for them to even communicate. Today, people are getting engaged and they're talking to each other like they are husband and wives. This is haram. This is not right. Just because you're engaged does not mean that everything before marriage becomes allowed for you till the kitaba or till the nikah ceremony takes place. So if we want to protect our kids, yes, you can probably get their nikah done. But at the same time, they are not living with each other. Let them get onto their 2 feet. And then once they're ready, then we can help them. We can help them embark on this journey. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give all of us ability to act on what has been said and heard. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that for all of our young brothers, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help them find suitable sisters, and for all of our sisters of the community, our single sisters, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help them find suitable husbands. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our families, may Allah give all of us the ability to fulfill each other's rights. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give the husband to fulfill the rights of the wife to fulfill the rights of their husband, and the parents may Allah give the parents the ability to fulfill the rights of the children, and may Allah give a proper understanding to our children on how to fulfill the rights of the parents. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that in all of our families, may Allah send His peace and blessings in each family. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remove the conflicts and the issues in our family. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala once again put peace in our families. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. Barakallahu lana wa lakum fil Qur'an al-Azim wa nafa'ana wa iyyakum bil ayati wa dhikr al-hakim. Astaghfirullah li wa lakum wa li sa'il muslimin fastaghfiru innahu al-ghafur rahim. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهديه الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين في كل مكان اللهم انصرنا على من خالفنا واحفظ بلادنا وأصلح أولادنا واشف مرضانا وعاف مبتلانا وارحم موتانا وخذ بأيدينا إلى كل خير وعاصمنا من كل شر واحفظنا من كل ضير اللهم قسم لنا من خشيتك ما تحول به بيننا وبين معصيتك ومن طاعتك ما تبلغنا به جنتك ومن يقين ما تهون به علينا مصائب الدنيا ومتعنا بأسماعنا وأبصارنا وقواتنا ما أحييتنا واجعله الوارث منا واجعل ثأرنا على من ظلمنا وانصرنا على من عادانا ولا تجعل مصيبتنا في ديننا ولا تجعل الدنيا أكبر همنا ولا مبلغ علمنا ولا إلى النار مصيرنا ولا تسلط علينا من لا يرحمنا اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا وعملا متقبلا ورزقا واسعا وشفاء من كل داء اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من علم لا ينفع ومن قلب لا يخشع ومن نفس لا تشبع ومن دعاء لا يستجاب آمين رب العالمين إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون فاذكروني أذكركم واشكروا لي وتكفرون أقم الصلاة. Straight in lines, fill in the gaps. Brothers in the back 2 rooms, please make sure the front hall is complete. To the sisters, please make sure the rows are straight. If you see any empty gaps, please fill those gaps. In the back. Go ahead.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
لا إله إلا الله رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. خلاص, straight lines from the gaps. He was online. Please make sure his cell phones are off. Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. استغفر الله استغفر الله استغفر الله.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Jazakallah khair, Imam Nadim, for very informative khutbah.